Hello everyone. The following two stories you're about to hear are not the typical stories where your life is super evidently in danger, but instead are simple, ordinary, everyday situations that could happen to any of us. And the sinister people in each story are regular flesh and blood humans that could easily spring into action and do something unspeakable or malicious to you. It's nothing supernatural or paranormal, meaning it could happen to me or you. With that out of the way, let's begin. Let us keep this simple, of course. Story number 1.
What I assumed to be a house burglar dressed up as a UPS driver, so people would answer the door for him. Before this story begins, I would like to clarify that I'm a male. I'm 21 years old, and I am from the United States of America. I answered the door for a guy who was dressed up as a UPS driver. He had the logo on his jacket and everything. I assumed my parents had ordered something that I needed to sign for, so I answered it. After opening the door and greeting him, I realized that not only did he not have anything for me, but there wasn't even a UPS truck in sight. He told me that his name was Tony, and that he was selling lawn care services around the neighborhood. I started to figure out that maybe he was just a UPS worker who forgot to change clothes before starting his second job as a landscaper or gardener. But then he started asking me weird questions, such as if we had any security cameras or any large dogs in our house. We do have security cameras, but they are quite hidden. And I told him we did not. And even though our largest dog is a 1-year-old beagle, I told him that we have 2 pit bulls. This entire time, he wasn't looking at me. He was almost looking around me, letting his eyes go around the inside of my house, probably looking for visible signs of something valuable.
He then asked me the weirdest question. He asked me why I had my door cracked instead of open all the way. I lied and I said it was because I didn't want my pit bulls to see him and start going nuts. The truth is, I always do this when I answer the door for strangers, so I can close it as fast as possible should they try something.
He then gave me a poorly made flyer for his supposed lawn care business, and he went off down the street to the next house. I shut my door and locked all the locks on it. So, Tony, I hope I don't see you on the news anytime soon. And here's some extra information. Our neighbor is a police lieutenant, and his house is one that got visited by this guy. So, I'm sure he put a word in.
Story number 2.
There was somebody in the window. Hi everybody. So here's my story. First, I like to clarify that I'm writing these lines during the very beginning of the year 2023. So, for context, I live away from home for school, while my sister lives at home with our parents. Also, both our rooms face the street and are right next to each other. Also, I have a full-length mirror in my room opposite the window, so if I looked in the mirror, I would see what was in the window. So, around Thanksgiving of the year 2021, I had just gotten home from school and I was relishing my ability to stay up late. And so was my sister. After our parents went to sleep, I was just laying on my bed, watching YouTube. I had my window blinds open, and for some reason, I felt the urge to look up, so I look in the mirror. Outside, someone pops up from below the window and bangs on my window super loud 3 times, then sprints away. I'm shaking. I'm on the verge of tears. I run to my sister's room and I explain what has happened. She's shaken up, but we chalked it up to a dumb teenager. Just a few nights later, at midnight, I see a text from my sister. It says, "Did you hear that? There was somebody in the window." I felt that same fear. I take my headphones off and I begin to get up when I hear 5 super loud bangs come from my sister's room. I run over and she looks really shaken. She says, "He just ran to the side of the house, the wall that's right next to my bed, and he banged from my wall. Right there where my head is." We both were frozen with fear. We made theories on who it was, but neither of us was the type to have enemies. There were no teenagers in our street. None of this makes sense. Sometimes I feel that same chill in the air, and sometimes I think I hear banging. The fear of seeing a face in the window isn't as rare as many would hope. So I'm praying that I never meet this boy again.